Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2022 with the Orlando Magic. It is a couple days before the trade deadline. We are 29 and 24, which I believe was 6th in the Eastern Conference. Was that right? 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the conference. 11 games behind the 39 and 12 Charlotte Hornets, 3.5 games out of 5th. Or 4 games out of 5th, 4.5 games out of 4th. So, I mean, we're still in decent shape to make the playoffs, but it definitely hasn't been as good a season as I anticipated it would be. I don't think we're going to make any further deals. I don't know what it is that we would need. We moved Batista to the bench. We brought Brandon Green in to start. So we're at Suggs, Green, Tatum, Grunman, and Gobert as our starting lineup. Then we've got Thomas, Atkins, Batista coming off the bench. So I think we're just going to run with this and see how it goes. So we're just going to start simming, guys. We are just going to start simming and see if we can win some games here down the stretch. See if we can get hot at the right time. Game against the Wizards at home. It's a 106-105 win. And Jayson Tatum is injured in our very first game back. Awesome. How long is Tatum out for? 12 days with a sprained toe. Well, that sucks. We got 28 from Grunman. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Well, we won, though. I mean, it's something. Lots of trades. Got the Bulls at home now, and we got to change our lineup with Tatum being out. I guess Atkins gets the start at small forward. So the rookie... Nope, we're going to go Williams. We're going to put the defense in the starting lineup. We'll bring him in here. Harrison Barnes. Give him a little bit of time. Go something like that, I guess. See if getting the defense out there with the starting lineup helps at all. At home against the Bulls. 113-96 win. A lot more deals. We'll take a look at the trades here in a second. So we've won back-to-back games to get this one started. Held a good Bulls team under 100 points. Grunman with 27. Green 23. Suggs 20. Simonovic continues to play well. 14 points, 10 rebounds off the bench for Marco. Wow, we were up by 25 points at the end of the first quarter. Let's look at the transactions. Let's look at any deals that were made, or at least anything interesting. Xavier Tillman and a first for Zaire Williamson, Matthias Thybulle, and Josh Christopher. So the Hornets pick up Tillman. Shake Milton to the Pistons for Dosunmu goes back to the Bulls. Sadiq Bey traded to the Sixers. Thybulle was traded to the Hornets and then turned around and traded immediately. David Gordon, Greg Adams, and Toby Majerus to the Pistons for Killian Hayes, a first and a second. Lonzo Ball traded to the Suns for Shake Milton and a second. All right. So Thybulle traded for the third time in the season. All right, so we've won 2 games in a row, kind of out of the chute here. But this is what we've been doing. We've been a very, very streaky team where we win a couple games, lose a couple games, that sort of thing. So we are at home against the Pelicans now. Another win, 117-98. So 3 straight wins, 2 without JT in the lineup. 28 for Grunman, 25 for Suggs, 17 for Green. He's played really well. Yeah, I think we're going to end up re-signing him. Young, 6'6", swing guy. Not great defensively, but can score, can shoot. Pretty good ball handler. Batista with a good game, 15 points off the bench. Harrison Barnes with 12. Atkins getting a little bit more playing time, a plus 17. Bench was really good in this one. Sim had a couple of more games. We should get the All-Star break here. Hopefully those are the last days before Tatum is back, so he doesn't miss any more games, I hope. No, we got a game here. I don't think he's back yet. Probably still has another week or so. Yeah, 5 days. All right, so we got the Sixers on the road. Not anticipating a victory here. Yeah, we lose. 115 to 110. Grunman with 32. I mean, all 5 starters had double figures. They had all 5 starters with double figures as well. We were winning. We were up by a point going into the fourth quarter, and things just fell apart in that fourth. The bench was terrible in this one. All right. I don't know how far we're going to go today. Maybe get to the end of the regular season and then do postseason / offseason in the next episode. Maybe. We are on the road again against the Wizards. This would be a nice one to win. And we have an invalid roster, so who is hurt? Gobert's out for 4 days, so we will just bring in Simonovic and let him get the start. Tatum's back in 3 days. Ugh, I'm not encouraged about this one. Yep, we lose again. Without 2 of our starters, it's not much of a surprise. So we start out this episode winning 3 in a row, and then we lose the last 2 going into the break. Suggs with a terrible game. Thomas had a decent game. Batista had an okay game. A double-double for Suggs, but just awful shooting. All right, so we get the All-Star break here, so we will get Tatum and Gobert back post-break. Greg Bobbitt wins the slam dunk competition, and Adam Davis wins the three-point shooting contest. Let's go back and take a look at that. Did I see Batista had 40 points in this game? 26. 26 and 11 for Thiago. Did we have anybody here? We did not. All right, and the All-Star game. Did we have any All-Stars? Can't imagine we did. Maybe Grunman. Yeah, no All-Stars. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Let's sim up to our next game, get our starters back in there, and see if we can turn it around here post-All-Star break. 3-2 to start this episode. Little, I don't want to say discouraging because, we were down 2 starters, but got off to a decent start, won those first 3 games, and then dropped the next 2 on the road. And we haven't been particularly good at home, which is the surprising thing. We're only 17 and 12 at home, which really sucks. All right, so everyone's back, so we will restore the lineup. Get him back out there, get him back out there. And yeah, 32 and 26. We should still be in 6th place, right? Yeah. Still, but we've gained half a game. We're 3.5 games now behind the Heat and 4 behind the Bulls rather than 4 and 4.5. So that's something. That's something. At home against the Blazers, another loss. So 3 wins followed by 3 losses, and this is who we are. This is who we are. Karl Anthony Towns, 22 and 14. Tatum had 28. Green had 21. All right, on the road again, this time against the Spurs, and we win this one, 90-84. So, game I didn't anticipate us winning. We hold the Spurs to 84 points. Old friend Clint Capella, 14 and 17. 19 for Grunman, 19 for Suggs. Batista with 13 off the bench to go along with 8 rebounds. He's having a good rookie year. Good year as a 19-year-old. At home now. And these are the games we've been losing against a bad Thunder team. And there you go. We have 130 points to a 9 and 23 road team. I don't know. I don't know what we can do to change this. I don't have any idea. So I think we just keep playing out the season, and maybe this is I said rebuilding year. We just signed Jayson Tatum to a huge contract. Maybe Atkins gets some time to grow. Again, they're both 19, so Atkins and Batista, I have to feel, are going to be studs moving forward, but it's just not meant to be this year. And I should be able to smart-ass my way out of being fired on the road against the Hornets. So we beat the number 1 seed in the East on the road after losing to a 9-win road team in our last game. Grunman struggled, 36 for Suggs, 36 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Atkins has a good game off the bench. Gobert with 12 and 13. Hey, a win's a win. Win's a win, and that's an important one. So we're at March 1st. We are, I want to say, locked into that 6th spot, but, I mean, I think, is that where we're going to end up? No, we're tied with Indiana for the 6th spot. But only a game and a half out of 5th now, as the Heat have lost 5 straight. So a game and a half out of 5th, 5.5 games out of 3rd. I mean, if we can get hot, we got a shot, but we just haven't shown that we're anything other than an inconsistent team as we get blown out by Portland on the road. This is frustrating. Tatum with 22. The donut for Atkins. What's going to be critical is that we win those interdivisional games. So the games against the Heat, things like that, those are games that they're going to be must wins. I mean, everything is close to a must win at this point. 5 games over 500 on the road against the Grizzlies. Another loss. I hate to say we blow it up after this year, but I mean, maybe Tatum's not the answer. I mean, he put up 24 and 11. He's averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds a game. He's been really good. Grunman's at 21 and almost the same exact numbers from Tatum and Grunman. Suggs is I don't know. I mean, he's got all of the attributes. He's a bucket getter. He's a sharpshooter, and he's an attacker. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists a game. I mean, you can't. It's nothing to sneeze at, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening this year. On the road against the Mavericks, there's another loss, another blowout loss. So we haven't even been competitive in our last couple of games. We've lost back-to-back games by 27 points. 26 and 11 for Tatum. Yeah, we got to be in 7th now, right? Yep. We have fallen 2 games behind Indiana. We are in 7th place, only a half game up on the Knicks for the 8th seed. So we're in that play-in scenario right now. We're 3 and 7 in our last 10. I don't even know what to do to try to turn this around. Because we're not good defensively. We're 30th in points per game. Let's try attack. And maybe that will have Gobert. It pushes people into the paint where Gobert could potentially block some shots. Maybe. I mean, we'll give that a whirl. At home against the Pistons. We win by 18. Nothing to really glean from a win over a bad Pistons team other than we should have won, and we did. 25 for Grunman. Gobert we had 5 block shots. They only shot 36% from the field, 6 of 34 from three-point line. I mean, that's what we're looking for. Try to close off those 3-point shots and force them into the paint. But again, it was a bad Pistons team, so. games here. At home against the Hawks, another win. So back-to-back home wins. Neither of them were great teams, but back-to-back wins for the first time in a while. Tatum 5 for 24. That is a shooting performance. That is a shooting performance. We have 8 blocks. Gobert has 18 rebounds. We hold them to 8 for 36 from three-point land. That's what we're looking for. That is what we are looking for. Batista at 14, 6, and 5. But again, we're beating the teams behind us. We're not beating the teams in front of us. Here is a team in front of us, but we're on the road. And there's another blowout loss. So this is just what we are, right? We're just an average team. We are just an average team. 18 of 36 from three-point land. Old friend Jonathan Isaac, 23 points, 5 rebounds for the Bulls. Gross. Gross, guys. At home against the Cavs, there's another loss. Yeah, this is just one of those seasons. Who is coming up in free agents? I want to go here. Quadro Gregory, he's restricted. Donald Corsi is, it's not a great class. Greg Bobbitt, 24-year-old, 18 points, 8 rebounds. He's probably going to want a lot of money, but he's pretty good defensively. I mean, you'd love to make a run at someone like Quadro Gregory, but he's restricted, so chances are the Raptors would match anything you could sign him. And in order for us to sign him, we would have to free up a ton of money. Donald Corsi, 23 years old. Says he's a defender, only has a 52 defensive ability. So, I mean, there are a couple of decent options here, but, I mean, nothing that's really hands down better than what we have. So we may be stuck with what we have for another season. We will see, though. But again, I mean, maybe we get growth from our 2 19-year-olds, and that shows something. At home against a bad Phoenix team, we win by 22. We do have to re-sign Green. We gave up 2 first-round picks to get him, so we do need to re-sign him. And if we re-sign him, that could be the end of Grunman. But maybe we can pick up some picks or something of value for the 24-year. He's only 24, though, man. He's actually younger than Brandon Green. Maybe we use Brandon Green as that trade leverage in the offseason. I don't know. A lot to think about, as this regular season is not going as well as we would have liked. And maybe we can surprise some people in the playoffs. I don't anticipate that's going to happen, but as we beat the Sixers, so we've won a couple games in a row now. We're 38 and 33. 20 and 20 for Grunman and Tatum. Batista with 14. I like that. 14 from Batista, 12 from Atkins. So our 2 young guns getting it done offensively. I don't know that he's ever going to be a great scorer, but he's got good defensive ability. The shooting is good enough that he could be a, 12 and 6 kind of guy, which isn't great, but Batista, however, could be a stud. He's now up to 4.5 stars. He was 3.5 stars when we drafted him, so he is up to 4.5 stars now, so he could be an absolute beast. We've won 2 straight. I have been recording, right? I am, yes. All right, at home, and this is one of those games. We are a half game up on the Pacers. We're at home, and we lose. Every single game that has been that, this is a game we need, we choke it away. And Tatum, oh, come on, man. So we're in 8th. No, 7th. We're in 7th place, half a game behind Indiana, tied with the Knicks, half a game up. Yeah, I mean, I think a playoff spot is pretty secure, but we could end up in that 9-10 play-in game, which means we have to win 2 games to even make the playoffs. At home against the Sixers, there's another loss. I mean, you get to a point where it's like, do you want the 10 seed or do you want a lottery pick? Because that's basically where we are. Good game for Batista. Green with a good game. I mean, do we want to just fall apart and end up as, the 12 seed or something? Suggs with almost a triple-double, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists. 7 turnovers. Tatum plays for 13 minutes. Has 4 points. That's not good. Batista and Atkins do a nice job. How much longer is he hurt for? Okay, his scoring's down to an 80. It was a 90-something when we drafted him. I think we're moving on from Tatum, believe it or not, after 1 season. His scoring was I think it was a 92 when we signed him. It's down to an 80 now. Well, that's something to consider. So I talk about how his scoring is down, how we're going to trade him, and then he puts up almost a 50-burger. 47 points for Jayson Tatum in this one. 15 of 22 shooting, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Carries us to the victory over the Magic. But yeah, that scoring is down to an 80. 2025. So it's gone up. It didn't go up. It was last I looked earlier in this episode. If you scroll back and you look, his scoring was at an 83. Peaked at a 90 back in 2023. I don't know that 80 scoring is worth $30 million or whatever it is we're paying him. On the road against the Knicks, and we win 41-35. A couple wins in a row. Tatum with 31, so a 47-point game followed by a 31-point game for JT. Suggs doesn't shoot particularly well, but that's okay. We win. See where we are once April starts here. Probably still in 8th. A game behind the Pacers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still in the 7th spot. Still tied with the Knicks. This home record is just shocking. It's crazy. I love our road record, but if we were, 26-13, all of a sudden we're up here. We haven't been playing well at home, and I don't understand why. On the road against the Raptors, and we lose again. So we're basically an average team, is what this season has told us, right? We are an average team. Batista continues to get better. Do we have a game today? We do not. On the road against the Nets, and there's another loss. We give up 139 points. Antetokounmpo with 28. Tatum puts up 43. I mean, I would 84, 74, 86, 80. 75, 72, 76, 70. If I'm keeping one, I think I'm keeping Grunman because he's cheaper and he's younger, and there's still development room. So I think if we're keeping one, we're keeping Grunman, and we are trading Tatum. I like having Gobert in the middle. We have him for another year after this. Big game here against the Knicks as we are tied in the standings, and we win by a casual 35 points, 103 to 68, 45-point victory over the Knicks. Thomas, 18 points, 21 rebounds for Ray Thomas. Batista with 23. Suggs 22. Tatum with 20. I mean, it's only one win, but it was an important win. We got another one here as we are a game behind the Pacers. So if we win this, we improve to 500 on the road, and we tie them in the standings. And we get smoked. Tatum puts up 43, so he's been scoring a ton of points lately, but it's not helping us in the standings at all. He's up to 20.4. So I think we're, locked in, I don't want to say locked, but we're pretty much in that in the 8th spot. 7th spot? No, because we are tied with the Knicks again. So I think we've made the playoffs, because we only have 2 games left. But it looks like we are going to have to play the play-in. That's what that means, I believe. Going to have to play at least one play-in game. Win over the Pistons. And I may go into the offseason in this episode because we've only been going for 26 minutes, and I haven't given you guys a lot here lately. And with Out of the Park Baseball coming up, that's going to take a ton of my time. So I think I might try to give you guys a bit of a longer episode today. We might pause in between the end of the regular season and the postseason, but or between the postseason and the offseason. But yeah, we're at home now against the Celtics. 43-39 on the season. That is how our season ends. 43-39. We lose by 20 at home to the Celtics. Tatum with 26. Suggs doesn't shoot well. This is disappointing. This is a disappointing season. We had 2 20-point-a-game scorers. We had Suggs, who had another down year. Brandon Green we brought on. He was fine. That defensive ability, I don't know what to make of that, though, because it says he's a defender. Effort. It says strong defender, but he must gain more defensive intensity. So maybe next season, it's because he's got that A stealing. Maybe if we keep him on next season, which we can do if we trade Tatum. So if we come back with Grunman, Suggs, Green, Batista, Gobert, maybe it's Tatum and Grunman who are gone, and we try to rebuild our front court. And our back court, we run with Suggs, Green, Batista, and Akins. And we try to rebuild our front court. I mean, that's a lot of points to try to bring back, but maybe. All right, well, here we go. Play-in game. At home against the Knicks. Can we extend our season? We can't. We get absolutely trucked in the play-in game. Or in the first play-in. Oh, that's right, because we finished in the first spot. So this is to see who finishes in the 8th seed. That's right. So we don't finish in the 7th spot, but because we finished in those top 2 positions, we're going to get a chance to play another play-in game at home against the Raptors. And we win this one. So we do make the playoffs. We're going to be taking on the Cavs. I'm not expecting that to go well. 41 points for Grunman. All right, let's look at our depth. And we're going with 9. I don't think I want to go with 9. I think we're going to go pretty much 8 deep here in the postseason. Atkins. Oops, I think we do that and just run 8 deep. I think part of the problem is we're playing Atkins at the 4, and he's not really a 4, but that's the option we have right now. So maybe we do this instead. Tatum's more of a 4 than Atkins is, so maybe we do that instead. All right, let's see how this goes. Game 1 on the road at the Cavaliers is a 111-105 loss. I expect this to be a quick series against the Cavaliers. We were up by 20 points at the end of the first quarter, and we lost. Is there some way to check like fatigue or something like that in the fourth quarter? Because we got smoked. Game 2 is another loss, and Grunman is hurt. How long is he out for? 20 days. Outstanding. Hell. I guess we switch him in Tatum. And then go Tatum and Williams. Williams 6'9", and he could play defense. He's a terrible rebounder, though. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, so we will go like this. I guess. We're going to get swept, so it doesn't really matter, but got to make the changes. All right, game 3. 122 to 111 loss. Tatum at 33. And we win. We win a game. At least we win one. We win game 4, 104 to 93. It's better than nothing. Tatum with 34 points. I was really, really encouraged about this roster when the season started. I really was. I thought we had built up the right combination of scoring and defense, and this was our worst season. And there is the end to our worst season yet as we lose 99 to 88. Tatum with 29, Suggs with 24, and that is going to do it. So let's go ahead and sim the rest of the postseason here. We'll get to the end of the season, and yeah, I think we're going to bring you guys the offseason in this episode. Why the hell not? Continue to let this thing just sim through the end of the postseason. Golden State and New Orleans out west. Couple of 500 teams battling it out here for the right to go to. So Cleveland and Golden State. See if Cleveland can end up winning it all here. They're up, I think, 3-0. Golden State wins a game there. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are your 2027 NBA champions. Heat beat the Sixers. The Hornets beat the Pacers. The Bulls beat the Knicks. The Hornets beat the Bulls. The Cavs beat the Heat. The Cavs beat the Hornets. Warriors upset the number 1 seed. Nuggets beat the Mavs. Spurs beat the Kings. Pelicans. So the 8 and the 7 seeds both won, and they faced off in the Western Conference Finals. So let's save this real quick. And let's go to the lottery. Who are we? We're Orlando. Do we have a pick coming to us this year? No, we do not. We're going to end up with a pick in the teens, I think. So the Wizards, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Wolves. So the Thunder are going to move up to the top 3. The Nets, the Hawks, the Rockets, the Suns are going to move up to the top 3. The Clippers, the Bucks. There are the Denver Nuggets at 4. The Lakers Charlotte drops from 1. So the Charlotte Hornets, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, have the number 3 pick in the draft. Suns with number 2. And the Cavaliers, the defending NBA champion Cleveland Cavaliers, have the top pick in the NBA draft. So the 2 top teams in the East, the Cavs and the Hornets, end up with the 1st and 3rd picks in said draft. That is not good for us. Let's look at the awards. Trae Young wins the MVP. Miles Turner is your Defensive Player of the Year. Zubac, 6th man. Elton Preston won the Rookie of the Year. And then Tyronn Lue. Julius Randle won the MVP in the postseason. All-NBA first team, Young, Jaylen Brown, Michael Porter, Giannis, and Jokic. Doncic, Levine. That one hurts. Doncic, Levine, Bridges, Sabonis, and Mobley is your All-NBA second team. Morant, Edwards, Tatum, Randall, and Anthony Towns are your third team, All-Defensive team. Simmons, Thibault, Bobbitt, Antetokounmpo, and Turner, defensive second team. Quadro, Gregory, Brown, Isaac, Bridges, and Mobley. And the all-rookie team, Batista, Ashley Brown, Deion Stetson, Freddie Rozier, Elton Preston, and no Atkins. All right. So we'll sim ahead, and we will smart-ass our way, hopefully, through losing our job. All right, let's see how it goes. Yep, we were able to smart-ass our way through keeping our job. So that's clearly a bug, but it allows us to continue to try to build this team into something that we want. Because I would like to play this through to winning a title. So we're going to have to see who's available, but I think trading Jayson Tatum is definitely it's going to be an average year. Okay. Right about at the cap. All right, well, this is going to be another difficult season from our owner's perspective. I think Tatum is definitely an option to move on from. Grunman hates the team. I don't know. We may see what we can do to burn this mother down. I thought that's what we were doing last time, but maybe we build around Batista. Okay, maybe we build around Batista. I mean, maybe that's the solution here. Just put the ball in his hand and tell everybody else to get the hell out of the way. Maybe. All right, so what do we got for coaches? Staff. I think we have to hire a new head coach. Yeah. Which probably makes sense given how things went this season. And what do we need? We need someone who can evaluate. We need a defensive coach is what we need, I think. We need a defensive coach. Ideally, we find somebody who's good at offense and defense because we have somebody who can evaluate potential, someone who's good at strategy, and somebody who's really good at player development. So finding somebody who's good offensively and defensively, but we don't have a ton of money. That's the problem. And maybe Byron Scott's the answer. 87 offensive evaluation, 89 defensive. I think that is the answer. $2,400 for 4 years. 2.4 million. For 4 years. Let's advance a day and see if we lock down Byron Scott as the newest head coach of the Orlando Magic. We do. Okay, so there is our new head coach. So if we go to staff now, what other changes do we need to make? So we have that defensive coach now. So we have somebody who's at least 4 stars at everything now. So I think we just run with that. We should have the scouting combine. And this kind of sucks that we gave up 2 first-round picks. Brooklyn Nets signed Luke Walton. That seems realistic. Yeah, we gave up 2 first-round picks. Earlier in the season. Yeah, I mean, come on. So we will scout ratings. We'll do this. So workout in there. Workout in there. Yeah, I would love to be able to rebuild the front line this offseason. I'd love to bring in a Will Mims. He's overhyped, though. But A scoring, A rebounding, B defense. Only 6'9". Brandon Holt is a sleeper. How can he be a sleeper averaging 32.5 points and 15 rebounds a game? I don't know. Reggie Warren is a good defensive player. Wow. Jamar Fisher looks really good. He's overhyped, but we will scout him nonetheless. Curtis Bailey. Man, that F defense, I'm going to pass. DeLon Criddle is, our scouts have him rated fairly high. Yeah, has him rated as a sleeper, so maybe he will be better than... I'm just trying to stay away from those F defensive players. Corey Cohen. We don't, again, it's the point guard position. We are fairly well set with Suggs and Batista. I mean, I guess we'll scout him, but I don't think we're going to end up taking him. Archie Braxton, yeah, we will add him. He's only 19. Corey Cohen, no. Grant Bradley, A defense, sure. What do we got? We got 4 invites left. Let's look at this guy from Bosnia, the center. In fact, let's look at all of the international guys. Doesn't look like it's a fantastic draft. Trey Williams we can look at. And we got one more. Guess we'll look at Jason Jennings. Our scouts aren't crazy about him, but has that A defense and B scoring, so we'll run the workouts. And it's time for the draft. Let's start and pause immediately. Let's go to the war room and see what we see. Yeah, Murray is that guy. No, he's really not, though. C scoring, B defense. I mean, he's still young, so, I mean, that would work if we... Mims looks really good, too. Says he's overhyped. B scoring, A rebounding. Where are we picking? I think we're picking like 14th or something. DeLon Criddle. Yeah, as a sleeper, that might be a good pick. Brandon Holt is a sleep. Again, a sleeper at 32.5 points a game. Yeah, and the game has those two guys going 1-2. So and Mims going 3rd. So and Braxton going 4th. So the top 4 picks are all players that we would make a run at. It does have Criddle going 29th. So maybe that's a pick we can make a little bit later on. Yeah, see, the problem is no one's going to have any money right now, so I'm not going to be able to trade. I mean, do they have a really bad contract that they want to get rid of for 1 year? No. This sucks. Problem is they're also going to take, like, Cleveland, if this was, like, real, they wouldn't take either Murray, Mims, or Holt, given what they currently have on their roster. Because they've got Evan Mobley at center and Julius Randle at the 4. So let's just see who they take. Yeah, they took Jamal Davis. Jamal Davis. Where are we picking? I would love to be able to move up here. So offer trade. Where are we picking? We are picking 18th. So who has the number 2 pick? Phoenix. Is there anything we can do with Phoenix to move up here? Give you the 18. Give me the 2. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could give him Tatum. I mean, I would do this in a cocaine heartbeat. Jayson Tatum to Phoenix. We swap first-round picks. We get back Jordan Poole and Davion Mitchell, both contracts we can probably offload. Not in accordance with league rules. Shit. Okay, now it is. You would need considerably more in return. What's considerably? How do I feel about this? We get 3 players back that we have no use for. Mitchell, Poole, and Jackson, all of which we could probably move. We move up to the number 2 pick in the draft. That allows us to take one of those power forwards. And then we can probably use one of these guys to trade back into the first round to get that shooting guard. All right, did it. Huge deal goes down between Phoenix and the Orlando Magic. So now, what do? We go Lance Murray, who is the consensus top pick in the draft. Very good work ethic. Decent defensively. Or do we go with the sleeper, the 22-year-old? Brandon Holt is a better scorer, better rebounder, better blocker. He's not good defensively. He's 22. This is when I wish I was kind of doing this live so I could get your feedback on this stuff. He's a B scorer. He's overhyped. So I think we rule out Mims, and this is going to come down to Murray or Holt. Murray 6'11", 243. He's more, I don't see how you can go with anybody but Holt. I mean, these numbers are just stupid good. 32.5 points, 7.5 assists, 15 rebounds, 1.3 steals, 3.8 blocks. I think we're taking Brandon Holt. Even with the defensive deficiencies, I think we take Brandon Holt with the number 2 pick in the draft. Ooh, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a first and a second to the Nuggets for Nikola Jokic. All right, let's look and see what that looked like. Please be at least 3.5 stars. 3.5, 3.5. Yes, let's go. .84 inside shooting, 73 scoring. He's slightly below average defensively, but he's a good rebounder, good shot blocker. We're going to take him off the trade block. We're going to put all these guys on the trade block. We are going to take Batista off. We are going to take Atkins off. We are going to take Suggs off. And I think pretty much everybody else is available. All right, so what do we got here? Jamal Murray in a second for Jalen Suggs. Nope. So there goes Lance Murray, the other pick. So let's take a look at him and see what he looked like, just to see if we made the right pick. So Charlotte. Yeah, he made the right pick. That's terrifying. We made the right pick. I want to send us Wahab Floyd back. I want to see if we can trade back up into the first round. So let's find a team that has a good record, like the Bulls. The 28th might be a little too high. So let's find... Where are the Sixers? 24. I'd like to see if we can get around 20. They don't have a pick. They don't have a pick. Denver? 9 and 23. Dallas. All right, Dallas. Certainly Dallas wants one of these players. Jordan Poole. Yeah, see, it has them listed as the advantage. So if we do that and give you our second, trades aren't in accordance with league rules. Oh, okay. So let's take Logan out of there. Let's take the second out of there. So we just need someone who's making about $4 million. Tommy Walker. Talk to me when I have a real offer to make. Corey Allen. Huh. Okay. Who had the 23rd pick? Was it Philadelphia? Fourth pick. All right. So they got to have somebody they want to send back. Dustin Johnson. Talk to you when you have a real offer to make. There we go. That'll work. Yeah? Is that going to work? Very far apart on a deal here. All right. We'll sim ahead a few picks. I don't want to spend too much time working on this right this second. Brett Holcomb goes next. Floyd for Poole. Ty Jerome and Jonathan. Let's take a look at that one. Are these guys any good? Ty Jerome, Jonathan Whitney. I want your first round pick. What if I take Whitney out of there? Is that going to make any difference at all? It's not cap legal now, though. It's not cap legal. Okay, let's go to the next pick. Curtis Bailey goes to the Bucks. Don't want to give up Maurice Williams. Nathaniel Tanner. So the guy we're looking at is DeLon Criddle, 19-year-old shooting guard out of Arizona. Hopefully, he's there in another 10 or 11 picks. Jamar Fisher. Yeah, these are all trash deals. There goes Will Mims finally. A lot of people want Gobert. Archie Braxton. There's another pick that we were looking at. Justin Murray. There goes Criddle. Damn. To Minnesota. Can we somehow get him? Yeah, damn it, I wanted this guy. Current ratings. Yeah, he's a good shooter, but not great at anything else. Now, he is young, so there's that. So what happens if we... Well, yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. So we're going to... Is there anybody left in the draft that we really want to make a run at? Greg Watson? Good scorer. Jason, is there another sleeper in here somewhere? He's overhyped. Grant Bradley. No. Lukas Zukauskis. Lithuania. We had good luck with our last Lithuanian pick. I'm looking for a sleeper is all I'm doing right now. Just going, he's overhyped. I mean, I wouldn't mind grabbing one of these 4 players if they're there in another few picks. So let's sim ahead. There goes Kennedy, Rob Willis. There goes the first international player, Orhan Tanju. Corey Cohen. There goes Zukauskis. Let's see what he looks like. He went to the Knicks, okay? 2 stars, 3 stars. So we have to remember Minnesota, because I wouldn't mind taking a run at Criddle once we hit free agency. So we're at pick 17. There goes Grant Bradley. So we got Watson and Jennings. So we'll go like another 5 picks and see if either of those guys are there, Watson or Jennings. There goes Watson. Dudley. Brown. Ty Brown and Buddy Hield for Roy Thomas in a second. No, I'm good. All right, so where are we in the draft now? We are pick 21. I don't know that we're going to be able to move up. Robinson, Cyrus, Thomas Jordan. I think one of those players is still available. You have Jason Jennings, and he's the overhyped player. What about Trey Williams? He's overhyped as well. All right, I don't care. We are going to sim up to our pick. Williams went with the next pick. All right, what do we got available to us? Reggie Warren. Decent across the board. Pretty good defensively, but do we really need another center? 19-year-old Harmon. Cease. Yeah, he's pretty bad, but he's only 19. Trifton Pozdorak. C's across the board. Lamar Johnson out of Belmont. He's overhyped. Isaac Roberts. Is there anybody left who is a sleeper? A second-round sleeper wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to take a stab in the dark at, but most of these guys are either overhyped or nothing. Yeah, overhyped. Tony Cobb. He's overhyped, though. Warren wasn't overhyped, right? No, I think we're just going to take Reggie Warren. Strong defensively, not a great shooter, but average across the board. So we will take Reggie Warren with our second pick. And let's just take a look and see how bad he actually is. 1.5 star, 1.5 stars. And that is going to do it for the draft. So we certainly made a splash. I kind of wish I had kept those first-round picks. It would have been nice to move up. It is time for contracts. Brandon Green, we're going to sign him to a qualifying offer. Barnes, we're going to renounce the rights to all these guys because we can re-sign players just like them this season if we need to. Renounce the rights. Renounce the rights. Renounce the rights. And Simonovic was actually pretty good, but I'm going to renounce the rights anyway. Yeah, Mitchell, Jackson, and Poole are all going to get are all going to get moved. We're going to exercise the option on Atkins. We're going to exercise the option on Batista. We're going to exercise the option on Williams. All right. So we'll have some money once we move Mitchell, Jackson, and Poole. Is he willing to resign? Yeah, it's a lot of money, though. I'm not willing to give him that. All right, let's move on. Oh, that's right. We have to do G League stuff first. Roster, who are we going to send to the G League? Batista can't. Mitchell can't. Poole can't. Jackson. Maurice Williams can go in the Summer League. Atkins can go in the Summer League. Holt can go on the Summer League. Reggie Warren can go on the Summer League. So here's our number one pick. Second pick overall. Pretty good inside presence. Good rebounder. Good shot blocker. Have him work on his... So during the training camp, we'll have him work on his, I would say, his rebounding and his defense, because everything else is pretty solid. I don't really care about this, though. I don't care about the... I'm not sure if the Summer League has any real impact on the development of your players. Like, I just don't know. Or if it's more of a scouting thing, like you find players that that you get a little bit higher scouting on, more accurate scouting, I guess, if they're on your Summer League team. I really don't know. So we need another guard. Rokas Jokubaitis, that's fine. We can bring him in. Actually, hang on just a second, guys. I got to get the Red Sox game on. I forgot they were playing. It's the home opener. How can I forget they were playing in their home opener? What's wrong with me? Oh, it's still the pregame show. Good. Okay. Yep, that was Chris Sale, if you could hear him. I don't know if you could hear him. Defense. Who's our best? Who's the best? Keith Woolham, 94 defense. Let's go. I'm going to request, and I don't know if anybody from Wolverine actually watches this, but I'm going to request that you have an overall and a potential listed here, so that you can see exactly what their overall is now, but also what their potential is. I think that would be really cool to have there. Just a thought. Trey Cooper, we'll bring him in. Who's the best rebounder left? David Howard, sure. And I always like to bring in some sort of freak. Either some guy who's ridiculously tall or some guy who's ridiculously short. So we're going to go with 7'5", 294-pound Josh Burns. And let's advance to the Summer League. So we're definitely looking to get younger as we traded Jayson Tatum after just one season. There are some other players that could be on their way out as well. We lose the first game. Holt had 14 in his debut. Warren was our second-round pick. He led the team. I mean, he's actually not terrible. Good inside shooting, good defensively. He's not terrible. Maybe we can get some growth out of him. Might be a good backup center. Holt scores 21 this time. 21 and 16 for our top pick. Another win. Warren with another good game. He's showing up in the Summer League here. Our number two our second round pick had 21 and 9. Our top pick had 12 and 18. You like to see that. I'm really excited about Batista's growth for year 2. I think he could really turn into a 20, 25 point a game kind of guy. Holt had 17, 29 points and 9 rebounds from Maurice Williams. This is really a huge third season for him. We're gonna lean on him, I think, for some. He may be a starter this year. We may start him. That'll hide his offense in the starting lineup. That may be something we try to do, and gets that defense out there for most of the game. That might be a plan. Holt 19, 8 and 5. Warren had 11. He's played really well. 4 and 1 here. And we lose in the first round of the quote-unquote playoffs. So our summer league season is over at 4 and 2. And it is time for free agency. So we have negative $12 million, so we need to find teams that have some salary cap space and try to move some of these contracts. So let's first start with Minnesota rather, because they had the man we wanted. They also don't have any money to spend. It was Minnesota, right? Yeah, DeLon Criddle. So we can pick up Criddle if we give them Atkins. If we do that, can we also get a pick in return? Oh, God, the salaries are off by $1 million. Come on. Who's the worst player on your team? Jimmy Sullivan. Okay, I'm not kidding. Is that a deal we want to make? I don't know. I guess the first thing we should do is let's find a team in the East that has some money and try to get rid of 1 or 2 of these bad contracts. Like I know you guys want Josh Jackson. Oh, Atkins is still on there, right? Should probably get him off. Couple of second-round picks for Josh Jackson. Oh, come on. $400,000. The minute I put a player on there, it becomes invalid. All right, so let's take him off and let's try Poole, because Poole was only making like $5 million or something. Where is he? Right here. All right. A couple of seconds for Jordan Poole. Not willing to take on the contract of Jordan Poole. What if I only asked for 1 second-round pick? Not willing to take on the contract of Jordan Poole. You guys suck. Not really, but you know what I mean. Josh Jackson. Let's get Poole off there, and let's try it here. Celtics want to give me a second-round pick for Josh Jackson. They're not willing to take on the contract of Josh Jackson. Okay. Does anybody interested in these guys? Let's get him off here. Let's do it like this. Mitchell. Let's go back into trades. Sorry. Gotta back out, then go back in. Cleveland, Milwaukee, and the Clippers. I wouldn't mind sending Mitchell here, But first, what about Jackson? Would you take, or not Jackson, Mitchell, because he was the big contract. So, a couple of seconds. Not willing to take on the contract of Mitchell. It says you are. It says you're interested in him. Okay. Let's... All right, so maybe we approach this a different way. Let's try to find a team that has the money but also has a player that's a potential sign-and-trade candidate and see if we can pick them up. Maybe that's what we do. So we would have to obviously add more to it in order to make it happen. Like we've got Brandon Green here that we can add as a sign-and-trade. Let's put all of these guys on there. Mitchell's on there already. Jordan Poole, Josh Jackson. So it's 37 and 9, 46. That's $51 million. So it says that I have the advantage here. I could trade for somebody like that. Let's see what else is available. But again, it would need to be a team that either has the cap space or is looking to sign somebody to a, super mega giant deal. Yeah, it says I have the advantage here. What am I looking at? Yeah, it says I have the advantage, not them. There's Vivaldo Giannini, the former Orlando Magic. Capella's still there. Miles Bridges. I mean, would he want to come here? How old is Bridges these days? He's got to be 30, right? Somewhere in there. Only 29. It's not cap legal. Oh, because they are over the cap. So if we were to remove... So Green, Poole, and Jackson for Miles Bridges with Miles signed to an extension. I don't know. I don't know that we need a power forward. I think we need a small forward. I mean, technically Bridges could play small forward, right? What is... Where is he? Right there. So good inside, good outside. He's not a great, he's an okay rebounder. He's good defensively. Yeah, I mean, he could play the 3 for us. And he won't accept, it says Brandon Green. Oh, Brandon Green won't accept the trade. Damn it. Okay. All right, so guys, I'm going to do a little bit of this offline, and I will come back once some trades have been made. So hang tight. I'll be right back with you. All right, we are back. And it took me a little while because I had to, I guess, do a little research. I found those 3 players that we had picked up last season in the Tatum deal so we get the number 2 pick. I was trying to move all 3 of them. And I found teams that were interested in all 3 of them, but they weren't interested in giving anything back in return, not even a second-round pick. So I went through the NBA trade rules, and I didn't see anything in there about trading a player and not receiving anything in return. I saw something in there that said you can get cash back for a player. It doesn't have to be a player or a draft pick, but I didn't see anything in there about trading a player to a team and getting nothing in return. So that's what I did. I traded all 3 of those players and got nothing in return. You can see here. And I don't know, maybe you consider this kind of cheesy. I don't know. But we traded Josh Jackson and Davion Mitchell to the Bucks, and we traded Jordan Poole to the Pelicans. I don't know. I could have, if the game allowed you to trade for cash back, I would have, maybe done that. But there was no way to do that, and there's nothing in the rules that says you can't trade a player for nothing. So that's what we did. We traded those 3 players for nothing. That freed up the cap space. And with that cap space, we didn't break the bank and do anything enormous. What we did, though, is we picked up a couple of useful pieces that should help us off the bench. We picked up Cam Johnson and Keldon Johnson. So Cam, we signed to the mid-level exception, $9.7 million, 8.5 points, 5.5 rebounds per game. 31-year-old, good shooter. Decent rebounder, decent defense. He'll be a good bench player for us. And then Keldon Johnson, 11 points, 5.5 rebounds. We signed him to a 2-year contract worth about $22-ish million a year. Pretty good scorer. Again, good rebounder. Pretty good defensively. He'll be a good swing man for us. Brandon Green accepted our 1-year tender offer, so we get him back at $2.4 million this year. It's a bargain. And those are the deals we made. So we bring back Atkins and Batista. I mean, so this is our team. Hopefully things look a little bit better this year. We pick up another young player in the draft in Brandon Holt. We will go through. Let's look at the rookie options and make sure there's nothing we have to do here. We will go through the training camp. We'll set our training camp stuff for a couple of players, and then we will call it an episode. So Brandon Green. I'm not going to do any of these options yet. I can do them all later. All right, so let's sim. So we get to training camp, and so the first player I wanted to look at was Maurice Williams. I want him to work on his... You don't have rebounding ability here. We need to work on our defense. Let's drop that down some. And we need to work on our defense. All right, let's look at our roster real quick. So Maurice Williams, I think, probably work on his jump shot and his the block and steal, so the agility drill. So we'll have him work there. Give him some... Oops, I got to come up here first. So let's draw... I don't care about his post moves. Let's work on his agility. And let's see if we can make him a 3-and-D kind of guy. So we'll do that. Anybody else that we really... Atkins. Let's look at our roster. Batista, I want him working on his scoring. That's my concern, is his scoring. Batista, because we need that additional offensive weapon with Tatum gone. Where is he? Right there. I don't care about his post moves. Jump shooting, outside shooting. We will save that. Suggs will just do whatever. Brandon Green, have him work on his defense. Yep, have him work on his defense. Brandon Green. I guess we can do this. For our shooting guards, we want them working on their defensive ability. We will drop the ball handling a little bit, passing drills a little bit. We'll do that. Have him work there. Just drop the post moves. Anybody else? Brandon Holt, our top pick. I think we'll just let the game do whatever with him and see how it improves him that way. And I think we're good. So let's go ahead and sim through training camp and hope that we get the improvements that we're looking for out of some of these guys. So Atkins gets a little better. Green gets better. We don't get the 2 up arrows, which is what I was hoping for both Holt and Green. Batista, his passing and his scoring, that's huge. Maurice Williams. So all of our young players got better. So if we take a look at the roster now. So Thiago Batista's scoring is up to a 67. He's up to 4-star, 4.5-star. Brandon Holt, 3.5-star, 3.5-star still. But my guess is he's still going to grow at age 22. He's going to be a good inside threat for us. Good rebounder, good shot blocker. His defense is below average, but I think we can hide that. So what's our starting lineup this year? I think we go Batista, Suggs, Williams to hide the offense, Grunman and Gobert. It wants to start Green. I think we start Williams. We definitely need another point guard because right now we only have Suggs and Batista. So I don't think we can do that right now. Let's scout the draft. Let's get this part out of the way. All right. D-League assign. We will sim through this. Sim through this. Sim through this. And we should be able to go in and sign free agents here in a moment. So we definitely went young. Depending on how this year goes, it could be another rebuilding type season. Maybe move on from Gobert and see if we can find ourselves a young center in the draft next year. Come on. All right, so now we have to sign. We need to sign a point guard. Nico Mannion, that 93 handle. Yep, we'll sign him. Who is the best defensive player out there? Keith Woolham, 22 years old, 1-star, 1-star. Decent shooting, good defense. Can't really do anything else. Travis Ruddick. Yep, I think we sign him. And maybe sign one more player. Who's got the best scoring? Malcolm Brogdon and Chris Middleton are both out there. Let's bring in Chris Middleton. All right. So those are our 3 back of the bench people. I don't think I'm going to set the actual lineups yet, but I think I want to do something like this. Something like that. And then Williams, Grunman, Gobert can share time with, man, we are a pretty deep team. Holt, Johnson, Thomas, Johnson, Atkins, and Green. Yeah, we're a pretty deep team. So we will set the roster next week, but I think this is kind of what I want to do. In Grunman's contract, he has 2 years left. I'm not ready to move him yet, but maybe depending on how Holt does, it's something we can consider. We definitely lose some outside shooting without Grunman out there, so I think that's part of the reason I want to keep him. But we got a pretty deep roster here. We have a pretty deep roster here. Whether or not that translates to wins, I'm not entirely sure. But I think, we go 9 deep or 10 deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 11 deep. We have 11 players that really all deserve playing time. So something's going to have to give. And what that will be, we will figure out next week. So guys, I appreciate you watching. And I'll talk to everybody soon. See ya. Bye.